Welcome to Quotable Teas. On this channel we take the time to explain the background of some great quotes. We look at who wrote or said them, the wider context of the quote, and how they apply to life. Today's quote is, "It is not how much we have, but how much we enjoy that makes happiness," by Charles Spurgeon. Charles Spurgeon was born 19th of June 1834 in Kelvedon, Essex, England. He died the 31st of January 1892 and is best known as a Baptist preacher. He was the eldest of 18 siblings, though only 8 survived past childhood. He grew up in the house of a preacher, his grandfather. He is said to have come to his personal decision for Christ in the middle of a snowstorm. And by the time he was 16, he was already preaching in the church, and at 19 preached his first sermon at New Park Street Chapel, where he would later become the pastor. His preaching was such a sensation that he held many services a day on Sundays. His sermons were printed regularly in the London Times. They were also distributed as single sheets, both locally and across the United Kingdom. By his death, he had preached over 3,600 sermons and written much on Christian faith. That being said, he found a lot of criticism for his everyday man style and enthusiasm. He was even called the pulpit buffoon at one point. His church outgrew its physical building. They then built the Metropolitan Tabernacle. This building seated 5,000 with standing room for another 1,000. On the 8th of January 1856 he married Susanna. They had twin sons, Charles and Thomas, who both became preachers later in life. One of the greatest tragedies in his life happened when he was preaching in Surrey Gardens Music Hall. One night someone yelled, "Fire!" and the crowd panicked. As a result, there was a stampede that killed many. As a Baptist and a Calvinist, he believed, as all Christians do, in one God and his Son Jesus, as well as the redemptive act of his crucifixion on the cross for the sins of the world. But as a Calvinist, he struggled with the doctrine of predestination. This is that God ordains in advance who will be saved, that we cannot change that. He could see clearly in Scripture that we have a choice, and so struggled with it. He also believed in the preservation of the saints. That is, once you have been saved by your affirmation of Christ, you can never lose that salvation. Both of these beliefs are debated across the Christian community. He was also a vocal opposer to slavery. While it had been abolished in England, it was still practiced in the colonies. This alienated him from the Southern Baptists in the United States of America, who still had members who were slave owners. The quote is about the pursuit of happiness, as it is a universal thing we want as humans. Spurgeon gets to the heart of consumerism. This is the idea that buying things will make us happy. He shows us it is rather contentment with and enjoyment in what we have that will bring us happiness. This is still very relevant today. We live in an even more consumeristic time than when this quote was written. But to narrow this to physical things is to miss the nuance. When it comes to people, friends and family, it is also true. It is not how many family members or how many friends we have, but our enjoyment of them that makes us happy. Also, how much we enjoy is under our own control, both in the sense of deliberately doing things we enjoy and avoiding the things that bring us down. I know there are things that we must do regardless, like household chores. Those then fall into the second category. We can also choose to enjoy the things and people we have in our lives to the greatest degree we can muster. Some of this is a mindset, but most of it is actively setting out to build those relationships so that they give us more joy and enjoyment. So the thing to remember is, it's not how much we have, but how much we enjoy that makes happiness. If this has piqued your interest in this quote, or if you love the art, you'll find links to t-shirts and other merch down in the description box below. If you want to see more videos on the context of some great quotes, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications, so YouTube will tell you when we post a new series of videos. If you're still watching, thank you, and we will see you next week.